What are your views on animal rights activism and wildlife conservation? Yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of regulation that makes the environment sustainable. I think that particularly what's happened to the oceans is grotesque. I've seen those videos of like the garbage patch the size of Texas in the ocean, and it's like, what are we doing? This is insane. Um, as far as the animal rights stuff, I have to say, and I get shit for this, but whatever, it is what it is. I just don't know. I don't know, and here's why. I'm a meat eater. I'm a meat eater. I like cheeseburgers. I do. In many ways, I'm just kind of like a regular dude, and one of those ways is my diet. And I eat like shit, and I eat meat. Now, where I disagree with a lot of people is I see the morality in veganism. Like I can see it. Like the idea of, hey, let's just try our best to not hurt any conscious living thing. I see why people say, hey, that's what's moral. That's what's ethical. That's what you should do. I can see that. And I think there's something that's like morally pure about that. So I respect the shit out of it. So in many ways, I give vegans credit. But me personally, I've never been a vegan. I've never even really been a vegetarian much at all. I mean, there are stretches where I've gone with not eating a lot of meat, but I've always had at least some meat, at least chicken. Like there are times I've gone no steak, stuff like that, but some chicken every now and then. But yeah, I'm so immensely culturally brainwashed that it's like, for me to even begin that process of just eating no meat, eating no products that involve animals, I wouldn't even know where to start, bro. I wouldn't even know where to start. I was actually talking to Greenwald about this a while ago because he's a vegan, and he's great because he's, number one, he's very convincing. Number two, he doesn't push it on you. He lets you come to it yourself, which actually doesn't sound a lot like Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald is a very persuasive, direct guy. But when it comes to this stuff, he's very much like, because it took him a while to get there, so I think he's understanding of others. And so he doesn't want to force it on you. He wants you to see it yourself so that you can make that jump. But he basically said, like, in order to be, like, you have to love beans to be a vegan because that's like all you eat. And, I do like them, but I could get tired of them quick, dog. I can get tired of those quick. So I don't know. And I've always been like, the cultural issues there always weirded me out. So what I mean by that is, like, we judge the shit out of people who eat dogs, like in China or whatever. Like, oh my God, there's this festival where they eat dogs. And it's like, we have fucking bacon here. You don't think a pig is as smart as a dog? It is. It is, for sure. So, like, the idea that we're like outraged, like, how could you? You're eating a dog? It's like, well, we eat pigs here. We eat pigs. Cows. There's a video online of cows of, like, they've been in a dark fucking room locked up for a while, and then they're let out and they're jumping all over the place and they're happy. Like, that's one of those things where you go, oh shit, I'm not eating this dumb fucking lumbering thing. I'm eating this intelligent being. And it's fucked up. But at the same time, it's so built into the system that you find it like impossible to break free from it, or at least I do, especially because my laziness level is off the fucking charts. But hey, you know what? Now they're coming up with the burgers that are not, there's no meat in them. Well, there's always veggie burgers, but like, you know what I mean? The new ones. And it's like, if I could have that and it totally replaces the taste of meat, like meat from an animal, I'm in, dude. I'm all in, dude. 100% I'm in. And I'll stick to that as long as it adequately, matches that taste. So I guess I could see myself becoming at some point a vegan or a vegetarian if I find the right foods that really sufficiently replace meat, because I've just been a meat eater my whole life. But yeah, I will also say this though, for sure, I'm on the page of there should be laws that mandate fair treatment of animals leading up to people eating them. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I actually think that's important, because when you like shove fucking cows or pigs or chickens in these tight ass cages and they live these miserable lives, there is something that's immoral about that. Whereas if they have at least a fucking free, fair, kind life where they have grazing room and shit. Like I always try when I go to the store, I get the cage-free eggs. Who knows if they're really cage-free? I have no idea if there's regulations around that shit. But I get that because I think I would prefer that like all chickens be fucking cage free in this country. I think we should have rules around the ethical treatment of animals while they're in custody type thing. In custody, that's a weird way of putting it. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, if you can't tell, this is an issue that I'm a little bit all over the place on. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Animal agriculture is a giant contributor to climate change, but not many lefties promote a plant-based lifestyle. Why? Hypocrisy for bacon? So here's what I've always said about like food. And it's funny because I got attacked for this when you would think that I wouldn't get attacked for it because I'm giving these people credit in a way. But I always said I see from a moral perspective why veganism is popular. Because, yeah, the idea is I don't want to have any animal products, so no animals are harmed with anything I eat. I see why from a moral perspective that's superior. It's like, yeah, no, I'm living in a way where no living thing is harmed. You're not causing pain to anything, right? Like, I see how that's morally superior. I do, and I agree with that. But in terms of me personally, I'm a product of my culture like anybody else. And I've been raised eating meat, and so I just never really never trying to get off meat. I've only ever done a few diets in my lifetime. I did the keto diet one time and it worked. It really melts weight off you. But like very few times in my life have I even dieted, so I just kind of eat whatever the hell's in front of me. I'm such a product of my own environment. So yes, I guess what I would say to you is if you want to promote and argue for a plant-based lifestyle and get more lefties on board, then do exactly that. But I would also say you're probably not going to win people over with like that standoffish, aggressive tone that a lot of vegans seem to take. I've noticed that quite a bit. There's a lot of angry chastising, but it's like, listen, you're up against the tides of all of culture and society. So you got to try to find a way to fight back against that in a way that works. And I don't think like chastising people is going to get that done. So, but if you call me a hypocrite because I understand that not eating animals is morally better, but I eat animals, call me a hypocrite. I'm definitely a hypocrite. And yes, a hypocrite for bacon as well, because I do like bacon.